What is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sun any chance I get. And today we're going to be doing another special album reaction, this time from Jack Harlow, and it's called Come Home, the Kids Miss You. Jack Harlow, man. He's just a whole ass rocket to the moon. He's a Louisville-based rapper who was releasing mixtapes for many years and was bubbling under the scene. But in 2020, he really had his breakthrough moment when his single What's Poppin' became a top 5 hit in the US. From there, he found himself working with other hip-hop heavyweights such as G-Eazy, Lil Wayne, and Big Sean. Most of these ended up going on his platinum-certified debut album, That's What They All Say. Eventually, he got to work with legends like Eminem and rappers who were quickly becoming legends like Lil Nas X. As for me personally, I've become very fascinated by Jack Harlow's journey, not the least because of his old childhood songs that got re-uploaded. From rapping over the beats of classics like Drop It Like It's Hot and Backseat Freestyle to the certified hood anthem, That's Me. See, real MCs get paper, but while normal rappers get stacks of money, he gets stacks of Valentine's Day cards. And it's not even fucking February. Now that Homeboy's put out a new record, I figured that it's time to give it a listen. First things first, I do want to give a shout out to Jess and Zena of Trans Girl Therapist, who are currently supporting me on Patreon, which you guys can do yourselves. The link is going to be on screen. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I couldn't thank you enough, and I hope you enjoy this video. And now, time to get into Come Home, the Kids Miss You. Track number 1, Talk of the Town. Oh, damn. That little piano intro got me going. I always wondered what it would be like to have tinted windows. Yeah, you can't really step up to Jack's game. I mean, you were special. You were able to, like, rap to a Kendrick Lamar song. Yo, that lo-fi, haunting sort of vocal really gets to you. Okay, so that was Talk of the Town, and yeah, that seems like a really great opening track. It's sort of Jack talking about how he was able to really, like, rise up in his career and really, like, make a name for himself, and now he's become so monumentally huge that he needs other people to reach out to other people so that they can reach out to him. And sometimes he can detect when the homies aren't exactly real, if you know what I'm saying. And you know, sometimes he has to give them the cold shoulder to really get the message across. Instrumental-wise, I really like it. It has this, like, nice little, like, calming, reflective sort of piano going on. And those haunting vocals after the chorus, each chorus, like, really, like, strike a chord with you. I really like that. It makes you anxious to see what else this album has to offer. And, you know, I'm ready to dive in. Track number 2, Young Harlow. His tempo makes you really vibe in your seat. Fiji. You know, that's considered the high class of water. Yo, this is Snoop Dogg. Yo, Snoop Dogg, you giving your credit to Jack. I'm loving that. Jack is the Mac and he's back. Yes. I'm loving this shit. Yeah, I'm the new school. I represent that new school. You're fancier than Iggy Azalea, let me tell you that. Yeah, just imagine it right now, baby. You and me playing my music on a cruise ship for the rest of eternity. Ooh! The freaking trumpet! You saying you on a higher level than Vanilla Ice and Beastie Boys. Like, Vanilla Ice I can understand, but Beastie Boys. You used to call yourself Handsome Harlow. I think you know the answer to that, man. One more trumpet solo for the road. Okay, so that was Young Harlow, and yo, I really vibed with that one. Instrumentally, it sounds so cool. Like, it has this very minimalistic piano beat going on with it, and it adds like a few trumpet solos here and there. I think I could even hear like a bass plucking like sometime like during like the final, you know, chorus. And yeah, it all comes together nicely. It seems to be another song where Jack reflects on all the luxury he's been able to obtain, like the Fiji and the Jordans and all like the neat little, you know, hotties that he's able to like hook up with. He really wants to make sure that he can prove himself to the game and really like show off his stuff and his skills and like his presentation and his aesthetic. and he just wants to convince people that, you know, he has a lot to offer to this genre. He ain't no Asher Roth type of boy where he just drops one major hit and then disappears from the face of the earth. No, he's in it for the long haul, and he wants y'all to know it. I gotta say, Jack, I admire that confidence. Track number 3, I'd Do Anything to Make You Smile. We got some harp playing going on here with some violins. Ooh, this orchestra. Jack, I hope you pay them well, because they doing a good job. Ooh! And here we come in with the trap beat, baby. She's feeling nostalgic for our little hookup. Jack. Oh, you promising hickeys, my boy. Selling yourself hard. Bouncing so hard I need counseling. That is a line. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We switching up the beat. We switching it up. We changing it a little. I'ma fuck the earrings off of you. Jack, you promising some hardcore lovemaking. Yo, I just want to see Jack Harlow try and pull off an Ed Sheeran song, like singing fucking Shivers in the bar or whatever. Okay, so that's I'd Do Anything to Make You Smile. That one seems pretty straightforward. It's him promising his girl that he's gonna do anything to really satisfy her, make her feel happy, make her feel satisfied. I said satisfied twice there. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. He really wants to put his girl in a very splendid mood and really give her the world, you know, maybe even travel the world. And of course, he's gonna promise her some very, very intimate sex. Baby, by the end of tonight, you're gonna be looking for your other earrings on the floor because they are flying off. I kind of like how he switches up the beat halfway through and like really like intensifies the music. Even the intro I have to admire because it's sort of him like really building up his stature as like, you know, a man of class. And it really puts him in like a fancy light, if you would say, you know, fancier than the other track. So yeah, I think that one is really fun and I cannot wait to revisit it. Track number 4, First Class. Everybody knows this song. It's one of the singles from the LP. Like, I don't think I really need to talk too much about it, but I always like to listen to it in the context of the record. I really just love how calming he makes this sample sound. It just really puts you at ease. Ooh, and I kind of like how it sort of cuts out for a little bit and just really like calms you down. Like, I need those streams, people. Don't sleep on me. I deserve them. And I love how he brings in the trumpets after the first verse and like lays them out on the second chorus. Aw, he really wants to spend more time with his family and sees that his rap career is sort of like interfering with it a little. And then we have those calming little keys to play us out. Okay, so that was First Class. You guys know this song. It's really great, and you know, it's really climbing up the charts, really having like a staying presence in the Hot 100. You guys know how amazing it is with its instrumental and its sample and everything, so let's just keep moving forward. Track number 5, Dua Lipa. Well, I'll be damned, Jack. You taking a shot with England's Sweetheart. All right, let's see how this sounds. It's like really intense with the beat. You're really coming for her, man. My boy is shy around her. No, I just want to cut the chit chat and just get into the real business. Yo, like these lines are just killing me, man. The paparazzi can't keep up with our star power, our sexiness. Okay, so that was Dua Lipa, and yo, I really did think that one was pretty damn awesome. It's just crazy to think that Dua Lipa has now become a big enough pop star that we now have rappers dedicating songs to her. Like, honestly, if those two really do get together, like, it would be like a powerhouse couple. Like, they would be unstoppable. I don't know if I would go as far as to call them the next Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they would really be the talk of the town. That's a reference to the first track. Yeah, the beat, you know, it has a lot of intensity to it, and, you know, I like how he switches it up at certain times, and there's some really cool sounds that he plays with all throughout this track. Like, at certain times, the beat can be, like, very, like, pokey, but also very vibrating. And overall, it just sounds really fun, and I believe that he had a blast recording this, so I gotta give him props there. Hopefully this becomes a huge smash. Track number 6, Side Piece. Ooh, the distorted vocals with the acoustic guitar really creates a hypnotic atmosphere. I mean, I believe you. I mean, Abercrombie was a hot, like, clothing store back in, like, the 2000s. Ooh, you're shooting your shot with Dua and Margot. Bro, you just chasing them girls. Is he saying family? Like family? A little confused there. Ooh! And we got another trumpet solo. This one's a little bit on the low this time, but, you know, still adds something. Okay, we switched up the beat again. We're doing it a second time. Ooh, I think we got some organs going on right now. Yeah, like, bro, that was a bit juvenile for you to say. Ooh, I love these high-pitched pianos right here, adding some elegance. Okay, so that was Side Piece, and yeah, that one seems pretty interesting. He seems to be rapping a song to a girl that he's seeing while seeing another girl. I'm not entirely sure about that. A little confused there. But I think the instrumentation was pretty damn cool. Like, the way he, like, sort of raps against this trap beat infused with the acoustic guitar, that was really creative. And at some point he infuses a trumpet and some high-pitched pianos, and I think there's maybe even a saxophone laced within that tune. From what I'm seeing, it samples Snoop Dogg's Beautiful, but I may not have heard it at some point. I might need to go back and listen to it, because it really is kind of interesting, because, you know, I like that song. I just want you to know that you are really special. Track number 7, Movie Star, featuring Pharrell Williams. Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to be you because you'd be jealous of my success. Yo, you like them older actresses. Pharrell just bringing in those smooth jazz vocals. Bro, shouting out dictators on your sex jam. That is something else. Pharrell hitting those high notes. Gotta love it. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, it's getting more intense now. Be in the Torkin zone. Yeah, I think I'm skippy now. No pun intended. Okay, so that was Movie Star, and yeah, that one was filled with fascinating lines. The way he just shouts out Cameron Diaz, by the way. Cameron, I love you. I hope you're having a good family life now that you're away from Hollywood. And I just love how he's just building himself up as this movie star level type musician. He's promising his girl that there's going to be a lot of love making, a lot of luxury that she can live in, and that he likes the way she looks, and, you know, he's really, like, into it. Pharrell is sort of giving some of his cred on this music, you know, just giving that really, like, laid-back kind of energy with, like, the really, like, jazzy and, like, really fashionable, really presentable kind of, you know, feel. A lot of interesting choices when it comes to beat. I like how they sort of play with the bass at certain moments, you know, really, like, intensifying it. I will say that sometimes it can be a little disorienting, like, sometimes the bass can be a little too in your face, you know? I don't know if it entirely pairs well with the smoothness, But, I guess, maybe that's just me. But yeah, I think it has a few interesting lines. Like, I love how he gives a shout out to Giveon, my boy. Heartbreak Anniversary 2021. And it's really just fun to see him flex on this kind of song, even if it's a little flawed in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's serviceable. Track number 8, Little Secret. Okay. This one has a more relaxing kind of energy. Who is this, Tyler Hero? You guys fighting over a girl now? We gotta spend more time together, baby. This fame is just getting in the way. I love that line. Any girl can be beautiful, but not all of them can be in tune. Like, I need someone that really fits me personally. Ooh, and this instrumental that plays out right now, sits well with me. Okay, so that was Little Secret, and I have to say, I kind of like the subject matter of that one. It appears that he's sort of dating this girl who isn't on the same level of, public status as he is. And, at times he needs to, keep their relationship hidden so that, it's not corrupted in some way. And I really like how it's sort of, much more subdued kind of song, because it's them having, a private, down-to-earth conversation with one another, where they try to be real and lay out their feelings, and sometimes it can be a little hard to confront, but, it's necessary. And I like how Jack really wants to have, a genuine connection with this girl, even if their relationship can get complicated at times. Yeah, it's a pretty neat song to include on the album, and I gotta appreciate it. Track number 9, I Got a Shot. Okay, we're taking it a little slow with the trap beat this time. Yo, what line was that, man? She says I'm cold, I can see her nipples. He's a Gautier-ass motherfucker. These violins are pretty interesting. I kind of like how he sort of intensified his voice right there. Okay, so that was I Got a Shot, and I think the context for this one is that he's meeting up with an old high school friend from his hometown, and she is sort of not down with just how monumentally famous he's become. Instrumentally, it's not too complex. There are some violins and there's some haunting backing vocals, but it just relies on this sort of pokey kind of beat, and it goes do 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 do. And I don't know if it's my favorite in the whole wide world, but it it has it kind of hooks you in a little. He's sort of reflecting once again on all the fame that he's garnered, but he realizes that it came at a price in some way. He's not able to sustain a strong relationship with his hometown buddy, and that sort of makes him feel a little unwell inside, if you would say. It is a neat little song. It's probably not my favorite on this record so far, but I think it has its moments. Track number 10, Churchill Downs featuring Drake. I kind of like that whimpering vocalist on the opening. Yeah, I'm heading for greatness, baby, whether you like it or not. I know what goats that we're talking about specifically. You killed your own grandfather with your money. Yeah, that's right, they don't really see you as a complex human being. They just see you as an entertainer. Drake sort of digging into the hardships he faced as a child. You drop trash, I love that metaphor right there. You litter him. Love it. Okay, so that was Churchill Downs, and yo, that was a really deep cut. Holy crap, he really dug into a lot of important shit there. It's pretty convenient that I'm recording this video on the day of the Kentucky Derby, and the song is named Churchill Downs, which is the famous race course. I just wanted to point out that huge coincidence. But to get into the lyrical content, the meat and potatoes, I guess it's sort of Jack talking about how now that he's famous, he has a lot of people that really look up to him and find him very inspiring, but sometimes all of that praise and hype can feel a little hollow. People don't see him as a real person. someone who, you know, has actual feelings and like a history and like a background and like hardships that he had to overcome, but they just see him as someone that, you know, can like keep them entertained and like, you know, that can keep them like, you know, captivated in a way. To them, he's just a spectacle, you know, someone that can like really like make a huge impression but can like dwindle away as time goes on. And Jack doesn't want that. He really wants to make a real impact on the scene and really like leave something behind for everyone to look up to. He's had real struggles with his label. They keep telling him how they want him to present himself to the world and how they want him to structure his music, and sometimes that can get a little hectic. I feel like Drake's verse is even longer than Jack's, even though it's probably not true, but it just feels that way. Drake also talks about how he came up from some really big hardships in his life, specifically his childhood, and how he really wants to like leave a big impact on everybody that listens to him. How the game can be a little complicated at certain moments, and how people like in the game sort of really want to drop these hot tracks, but you know, sometimes they may feel inauthentic. I feel like there's so many profound lines that I can't really dig into all of them right now in this video. But yeah, it's them talking about their come-ups and how they've, you know, risen to success, and how sometimes there's been a few road bumps here and there, but overall they really seem to be like, you know, hitting their stride, even if there's some people that don't exactly want that from them and are making things even more complicated for them. Track number 11, Like a Blade of Grass.
Like a blade of grass.
Ooh, those chimes. The girl would be the reason that I passed my tests. Impressing her with my knowledge. Yo, this beat is just so relaxing, but it's so groovy at the same time. Those chimes, man, those chimes. Ooh, ooh. Vocalizing, and we got a harmonica up in this bitch. Ooh. I'm dancing in my seat. That was just like a melodic guitar coming in. Yo, this sounds like a real conversation that they're having between each other, you know? It sounds like, you know, we're really like gaining in on it. We're getting some insight. And those like little synths there. Damn. Okay, so that was Like a Blade of Grass, and that one made so many interesting choices. Like, holy shit. I love the different instruments that he sort of like brings into the song. Like, he had some chimes, some guitars, some synths. Like, he just combines all these different sounds that don't usually go together, but like they work so well on this specific song. This seems to be a conversation that he's having with a girl, one that he's really trying to hook up with, and he seems to be very interested in. And how he says that, like, you know, you would have been the type of girl that, you know, we would have kicked it back in my hometown. For a second, when Jack was saying how, like, I had a boyfriend I dated 5 years in school, I was like, oh man, this is a coming out track. But no, he's rapping all of this from the perspective of the girl. And yeah, it's just a very relaxing kind of song. Like, it has a nice vibe to it, a really cool energy. It hits you right in the soul, you know? And I think this is going to be a song that I really enjoy coming back to on my second listen. Track number 12, Parent Trap, featuring Justin Timberlake. Damn, it's been a while since we've seen him do any big projects. Let's see what he's got going on. This drum line with his piano is just infectious. Oh yeah, I mean, I would hate that too. Like, the day when that comes, I ain't ready for it. Yeah, they want to see you fall from your highest peak, you know, because it's just such a spectacle in their eyes. These vocals actually sound so well on this instrumental. It kind of has like a bit of a lo-fi energy with the sound. And it's just so like spacious with the outro vocals. Okay, so that was Parent Trap, and I gotta say, that one is a really good vibe. Jack seems to be reflecting a little bit on some of his haters and how they really want to see him sort of slip up so badly that he just loses everything that he cherished during his time as a big-time celebrity. And it seems to be him talking more about how the high life can really get to him and how it can be a little overwhelming and that it could just really drain him and burn him out. I can't really tell if he's singing to someone specifically or if he's just laying out his thoughts for everyone to hear, but it seems to be him talking about some of the things and some of the anxious feelings that he has when he's up there just, you know, in like, you know, the private jets and whatnot. The fame can be pretty welcoming, but sometimes it just isn't all that, you know, spectacular, if you would say, which is what Justin sings on the chorus. But I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty excited to see him sort of lend his vocals on this tune. And it's just such a welcoming addition. The beat is very relaxing, especially with that kick-ass piano. I gotta appreciate it. Timbaland lending some of his ad-libs right here. It ain't a Justin Timberlake song if you're not gonna include Timbaland. They just go together like PB and J, You can't just have the PB and you can't just have the J. I think that one is going to be very cool to revisit, and I think it'll be something that's very relaxing on the ears. Track number 13, Poison, featuring Lil Wayne. These gotta be some sampled vocals.
You got so much poise in a room full of people making so much noise. I wanna bring my boys. I wanna listen to
you. Really stand out in the crowd, baby. I just want to show how good we look together, baby. Just give me that opportunity. With enough vocal lessons, he could actually pull off an Ed Sheeran song. Okay, I think Lil Wayne fits with this a little bit. Like, you're always on my mind, and it's sort of poisonous, but, in the positive kind of way. Alright, this is the third time we switched up the beat. Jack, you're really a fan of this. He wasn't devoted like I am, sweetheart. The lyrics are gonna outlive the haters. Love that. That's a great motto to live by. Ooh, that little guitar right there really gets to you. And we got this violin composition sort of closing us out in the song. Okay, so that was Poison, and yeah, that one sounds very nice on the ears as well. Jack and Lil Wayne seem to be rapping about this one girl who's like in the club with them, and while there's so much, hysteria going on, if you would say, it's her that really catches their eye. She's able to really lure them in with her poise and charisma, and she just, stays on their brains, but in a good way. She may have had another man a while ago, or even a minute ago, but he wasn't really committed, and so Jack is gonna take his shot with her, The beat is very relaxing. I love how it relies on the guitars a little bit, and how it has these nice little violins that sort of close out everything. It has a nice energy to it, and it's very, very, very welcoming. So I gotta say, that one I think has a thumbs up from me. Track number 14, Nail Tech. This one I've already done a short reaction to before. You guys can check that out if you want to, but of course I want to listen to it within the context of the record. Love those triumphant trumpets that he opens up with. I reek of money. It's like an overwhelming smell. You want to look like luxury instead of be luxury. Right, you gotta make sure that you have a clean track record, so that people look back on your fondly. Prioritizing family over social media. Gotta appreciate it. Bow! Bow! Yes! Love that energy, Right, I've proven that I have what it takes to be in charge of this game, so it makes no sense if you ain't vibing with me. And I love this outro too, where it's just him basking in all the success that he's obtained. It's just so, it just feels so good, it's euphoric in a way. Okay, so that was Nail Tech, and I gotta say, that one is still as energetic as it was the first time I heard it. It's him talking about how he's just running the game and how he's just going up from one level to the next, and it just sounds so energetic and really pumps you up in a way. It's the type of music that football players listen to as they're entering the field. And honestly, I'm just praying to God that it becomes a hit this year. I think it's only peaked at well, I think it's in the 40 range at this point, but it peaked at number 18 but then fell off, and it's kind of struggling a little. I really hope it makes the year-end list. Please give this enough streams. God, I'm begging you. I think it deserves it. So now let's see how Jack ends the album this time around. Track number 15, State Fair. It's kind of like this sort of somber flute in a way. Yeah, like those shades are like very exquisite. Like you can tell the designer from the color and whatnot. I mean, at least the Postmates appreciate me. The guys at UPS, you know, they give me some cred. I'm starting to outgrow the hate in a way. Ooh! These piano keys, they're just getting to me. I still think about what I could be doing with my career. That's a great mindset to have. I don't just want to be giving gifts, you know? I don't want rewards. I just want people to acknowledge the impact I have. Okay, so that was State Fair, and yeah, I think that might be a great way to conclude the album. Once again, he's sort of reflecting on his fame and sometimes the struggles that can come with it, but overall, it's all worth it. And how there may be some people that don't actually appreciate the type of person he is and the type of music that he makes and all the hard work he puts in. But every now and then, there's that one special person who really like acknowledges all of that. And he's talking about the girl that he remembers from his hometown that he can't really be with because he's in the high life now. It's like he's really tying all the album subjects together into one big finale, and I really appreciate that. On top of that, the piano keys just sound splendid. It's just him sort of reflecting on everything that he's been through so far and like what he could be doing next. And it just sounds so relaxing and, you know, just very melodic and just tranquil. This was a great song, and I did have a lot of fun with this album. And for now, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to give the album a second listen later. I'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts, so bear with me. Alright, I am back and I'm ready to give you my final thoughts on Jack Harlow's Come Home, The Kids Miss You. When it comes to hip-hop, the conversation surrounding white artists can always be very touchy, since it's always a matter of how well they can understand and fit in with the culture. The only real white rapper who's maintained longevity within the 21st century is Eminem. At this point, I think Jack Harlow has proven that he has enough respect for the culture, but now it's a question of how consistently he can produce quality music. Honestly, I think this album has enough good elements to it. We see Jack focusing a ton on his new success as one of the biggest hip-hop stars in the world. He scored a ton of new whips, girls, and mansions that came into his clutch just in a few short years. With that fame, though, comes a bit of a price. He can't see his family often, he's losing touch with his friends back home, and he's constantly approached by folks who don't really see him as a normal, real human being. We see him dive a lot into those themes on Churchill Downs. You can tell that this has been weighing on his brain for so long, and after over a year, he can finally put it on paper. I appreciate some of the instrumentals he puts on this record too. He knows how to mix the pianos, distort the backing vocals, and even experiment with other sounds, like he does on Like a Blade of Grass. Sometimes the bass can be very obnoxious, like on Movie Star and I Do Anything to Make You Smile. And I was not a fan of the Snoop Dogg sample on Side Piece, it just didn't fit too well. Jack also tends to have some clumsy rhymes, like his reference to sweet semen, his pronunciation of the word family, and his repetition of Fetty. So I can sort of see where people are coming from when they say that this LP is underwhelming. Do I see Jack running out of stock? I think that might be a little too early to estimate. Jack has a charming enough personality that I expect people to stick around even if they weren't too amazed by his work this time. As for me, I think this LP has enough tracks for me to return to. I give Come Home, The Kids Miss You a 6.5 out of 10. My favorite tracks would have to be Parent Trap, Nail Tech, and Churchill Downs. My least favorites would have to be I Got a Shot, Side Piece, and Movie Star. And I think that just about does it. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this album reaction and review. I hope you had fun. If you want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Twitter and my Twitch. The links are going to be in the description. And check me out on Patreon as well. You can give me some great support in return for some great rewards. But that's where we're going to wrap up. My name is Gabriel Jones, and the sun may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care.